delighted today to be joined by Clifton Harrison and Kate Fleming. So Kate, perhaps you could give us a brief overview of the key themes to come out of your report.
As you'll know, in 2008 there was massive economic decline and disruption in the market. And so I wanted to benchmark, if you like, what firms are doing in terms of sales and client management in response to those changes. Virtually all the firms I spoke to have implemented a CAM programme. Likewise, a lot of firms have decided that their principal go-to-market strategy will be sectors, and most firms are using a combination of both.
If you're looking at key account management, I first experienced this actually with PwC back in 2004-05, who were very much at the forefront being around key account management. And that was very much designed to focus efforts and to cross-sell and increase penetration and footprint. None of those themes have really changed, actually. But the challenge for a lot of professional service firms at the moment is it's quite defensive in its outlook. We must retain what we have. Looking at our most significant clients, how do we retain the existing revenue streams rather than overtly looking at how we can really attack what I refer to as the white space? What the challenges are in professional services at the moment are how do you reinvent them? How do you keep them live, and how do you use them as an opportunity to really generate revenue growth? And the best example I can give is I haven't come across a key account management program that actually has delivered more than about 5% growth per annum. Okay. So there is something fundamentally wrong. And for me, the key thing that we need to do in the profession is link it overtly to client experience and client feedback programs.
I think that's absolutely right. One of the firms that I spoke to really have invested in their key account management program. Their key accounts have account management professionals looking after those accounts, some of which is client-facing, some of which is not. But what is really interesting is that the managing partner was quite explicit that the key accounts that are actively managed have actually grown faster than the clients that haven't been actively managed in that way.
I think one of the other things that your report picks up on very well is actually the importance of pipeline management. And I look at that both in two ways, actually, Tim. So one is on specific accounts and a 3-year forecasting model, but actually more generally from a firm perspective, what are we doing? What confidence do we have in where the business is actually going? And actually, sales pipeline management really does give you a competitive edge.
Oh, without a doubt. Whilst they're managing the performance of their key accounts, it's generally historical. So they measure it after the event. There's very little in terms of the forward management of opportunities. Most key accounts have a key account plan, but that key account plan is very often activity focused. I
also think the people issue is important in terms of the type of people you have leading the accounts, the umbrella that they put around the rest of the team so that they're engaged. And actually I refer to a lot to relationship maps and relationship matrices to ensure that you are building relationships with the right people.
I think that's absolutely
and you're creating
right.
that many-to-many approach rather than the one-to-one which traditional professional services firms often focus on.
I think stakeholder management is as much a part of managing the sales process as client engagement. And I think now, with decision-making being increasingly complex and more people being involved in those decisions, including procurement, I think that effective stakeholder management is even more critical.
I think you're right, and I think the relationship maps that I've seen work really effectively include HR, include legal, but they also include procurement, and often senior stakeholders, be they shareholders or private equity houses. I think increasingly you're really starting to see, Tim, the rise of client-facing key account professionals coming in to support client partners to help them achieve their goals and aspirations, because you don't achieve that on your own. It's absolutely a team game in terms of growing individual accounts and also looking holistically at a key account group of clients to understand how you can take what's worked on one from a behavioural perspective and also from a technical perspective and transpose that into a comparable business.
I spoke to GCs and other buyers of legal services, and actually the majority of them said, you know what, we don't mind whether we have a lawyer managing our relationship or someone else. And in many cases they felt they had a more valuable conversation with someone who perhaps had sector or market expertise.
The recession also had another impact upon professional services, because that reduced the graduate programs for very capable individuals with terrific backgrounds, with great degrees, and they're now pursuing careers within marketing and business development. And actually they're often the academic equal of the partners, which enables them to think tangentially and coherently about constructing key messages and creating winning bids. It's actually that consistent approach that delivers a similar theme and culture and brand experience, and that is what's really going to differentiate the highly successful firms and those that
I think that's right.
Don't grow quickly enough.
One of the things that came out in the survey is there are some really very good CAM programs in law firms, but if you talk to the buyers, they're not seeing it out in the marketplace. Most of them feel that law firms could leverage more value from both their sector programs and their key account management programs.
Clifton, Kate, thank you very much for your insight this morning. I personally found it fascinating and I'm very grateful for your time.